And we're back for Dramis versus nosfa here in week 1 of stage 2 of the QPL Zoot.
We absolutely are. We've had 3 exciting matches so far, and I think we're just getting hotter at the moment. nosfa and Dramis. This is, I think between us, we decided to date with these games is most likely to be not a 3-0, even though the 3-0s have been good fun. Oh my god, Razy Avec. There's going to be... I really need to see the veto, honestly, before I go into like any kind of analysis about it, but there's some 2 interesting styles. I feel like Dramis, he's... What's a good way to put it? He's like a sort of... what's like a bird of prey that will like circle...
Or like a hawk or a vulture?
Like something like that. He'll do that, and then he'll pick at it when he finds it like the weakest point. Whereas
that is a vulture. Yeah.
Sure, we'll go with that. And nosfa, can I think of wait, isn't he in the Black Hawk clan?
Yeah.
I can't make a hawk reference anymore. But he's a little bit more bullish, you know, like give me like an aggressive animal, like. But don't say cheetah because that's Tilson. Not so much a hippo. They're a little bit more omnivores, aren't they? Or
wait, they could eat you easily.
They could.
They break you in half. Their jaws are ridiculously powerful. You ever seen them crush watermelons?
Well, that's it. It's not people. I need something that's going to crush people here.
I reckon a hippo could crush a person.
So nosfa here, the hippo of the scene at the moment, he's just got a really scary style. One of the most electric. I mean, he is lightning in a bottle himself. Just the way that he can start maps, and in particular Ranger, is what tickles my fancy the most. It's stunning what you see, and it gives you new ideas of what you can actually do in this game and what's possible to execute. It's absolutely incredible.
I like watching nosfa. I feel like nosfa normally provides us with some very exciting, very flashy matchups.
Yes.
And he's someone that I felt like over the course of stage 1 kind of got stuck in elo hell of the season because he had to face off versus Rafa, versus, you know what I mean? So he got pushed down lower and lower, and it was like, I feel like he could give us so much more. Now we've got round robin, this could be his chance.
It is absolutely true. I think this will suit him a bit more, although I believe he has moved away from Texas now, so I don't know which the conditions are in, but we'll see, because he's always a fighting force no matter what. On the other side, though, Dramis, the Vulture, he loves high mobility-based champions. He loves to go for those difficult, almost like trick rails, I dare say it, when you're speeding by something that Tox is incredibly good at. And I remember that live. I'm watching that live, and that
was beautiful.
When he can get his rhythm going, he really can make you feel like food's being scavenged.
Yeah. Dramis can be sick. He can provide us with an awful lot of very interesting moments. He's had some huge highlights throughout. Again, another player that it felt like maybe a bit shaky into the opening weeks of stage 1, and then looked way better as time went by, with actually getting himself into a pretty good position by the end of the season.
Yeah, and actually him going to Italy, I think it was his first time to Europe. It might have even been his first time out of North America, in fact. And he's talking about how just, an exciting experience is to get to play on stage in Europe, and it's made him hungry to, keep the grind up. What level can he achieve? It's something that he's incredibly passionate about, and that he sacrificed a lot to really improve himself at the game. So I'm super excited to see what he can do, because he's a story that I think's not finished, and I want to see where this product's going to get to.
Well, let's add some more footnotes to this story, as we do have the picks and bans, so we can have a bit of an overview of what is going down tonight.
Okay, so we start with Vale, and immediately we see some mobility coming out from Dramis, as he's got the Sorlak there later on with Ruins. He's got the Strog stuff that he enjoys. I think a wise ban from nosfa in map 2 to get that slash out of the way. Knows how good Dramis can be with that. Blood Covenant, we've had a Nyx Doom tonight already. I think the Nyx was superior as it was between Effortless and Dehang, I think. The picks at the moment, overall, super slightly in favour of Dramis, but barely. I think Vale better for Dramis, Blood Covenant better for nosfa. I think push comes to shove, I'd give it to Strog.
Okay, interesting. Opening it up, I feel like it's a bit of a weird one, because obviously we've got the Sorlag in there straight away, and we know just how much of a beast she can be in the right hands, so that should be quite fun. Again, more classic vintage Ranger action as well. Nothing to really turn your nose up at.
It's difficult though, versus because I've been spending too much time talking about the burst damage that you have. All of a sudden, you've got to apply that now to a heavy champion who starts with a lot of stack. Even when out of control, she still kind of has some control. It makes it a lot harder to make those type of plays. So you've got to be a little bit more, choosy with how you you get your fights.
Well, talking of fighting, we're back in the arena. Dramis versus nosfa, as we're going to kick it off with the opening map here of Game 4 of the night. Let's see who is going to be able to spill the first gallon of blood.
An entire gallon. It's going to be more than that soon.
You know, it's all like she's a big girl. There's a lot of blood in that reptile.
All right, so you're predicting that Dramis falls first.
Honestly, I feel like nosfa comes in hot into this series to prove a point.
I think with Ranger, he does that anyway. I think pretty much everybody in the world. That's just been the style that he's been showing. A little bit of LG early on. Mega Health's going to cure the damage over time. And he needs to get a little bit more DPS out. He's got the orb. They kind of changed places, interestingly enough. There's a good rail. Want to close up with that, but the Tri-Bolt, very, very strong. nosfa's going to respect it and move out of the way.
nosfa. Going on a bit of a roam now, as after an awkward opening confrontation, both of them were able to get away scot-free and at least stay alive. nosfa with the LG, a big tag as he starts to transfer a fair bit of damage over towards Dramis, luckily getting the Mega at just the right time. Both of them incredibly low, the Super Shotgun both came out, but Dramis will be the one to spill the first blood.
I think he auto switched to rail and then went for shotgun. And shotgun was the better weapon to go for, but I think if you get that switch out and you're that low on HP, you've got to go clutch at that stage. So low HP, nosfa will be able to return fire, make it 1-1, and restack with some major items. Very important that he's able to stack up fast, otherwise Dramis can really run the entire map and make him feel bad.
nosfa trying to put in a frag here as he looks to punish. Dramis, though, will get himself a second already as he is getting electric with that LG. 2-1, 3 frags found in the first 2 minutes of the game, so it has been fairly fast-paced, and that is what you'd expect between these two boys.
Oh, God. Oh, that's so much damage. He's going to drop down 4. It has to be careful. Doesn't want to put himself out of position for the Mega Health. nosfa can't get to it. He tries to orb on it. The damage over time is hurting. nosfa's going to die anyway. And I think, yeah, Dramis is like, well, you've got no health bubbles there. I know you're weak. It is a matter of seconds until you fall. And it's a nice little touch of Solag that you don't take damage from the Acid Spit. I know it's some basic stuff that we walked through a long time ago, but a little mid-air too. It's these tiny advantages, they add up after a while. And Dramis is making the most of it.
It can be beneficial. If you use to put yourself into a better advantage, it can definitely be worth it. Dramis really building himself quite a towering lead already right now versus nosfa, and it's going to keep on going. Dramis is having a great opening start to the series here, Zoot.
It does need some of those health bubbles to spawn, and which they will do very, very fast. Taking a couple of moments to get over to the heavy. But his position's actually not too bad. Pushing nosfa up a bit. Alleviating more pressure. Is he just going to run through? This is crazy to do, but the damage that's been done. nosfa has to go down for the health ult to put himself in a dangerous position, and Dramis is going to get a little bit of a break from the pressure before the next heavy. Dramis is playing a very good game at the moment. One thing that's been lacking from in the past is discipline, and he seems very on point. I think that's how he kind of levels up his game a bit more. Shotgun, oh my god. He knew he was in for a penny, in for a pound then. He didn't really have an escape, so got to maximize your damage as much as you can. And now this is a sort of semblance of control coming back into play. Ooh. What is this Dramis that we're watching? He's playing excellently at the moment against nosfa.
He's doing very well. It's a 5-frag lead. The doors come open, and nosfa will strike quicker this time around. Has to leap his way through the globules, though, and will take that damage over time. Straight back over. Oh, no! The orb. Oh, nosfa! It's all gone wrong, Zoot.
He's tried to get the heavy armor. The rocket jump didn't work. He didn't latch onto it on his way up. That was not the plan, and as we get to the halfway mark, that is troubling to see for him. It's going to require a special level of focus. You don't like to point out the mistakes too much, but this was a critical point of the game.
Yeah, this might actually leave him in a really bad spot. We're 5 minutes in. It's such a big lead for Dramis, and if it just keeps growing, well, if it keeps growing further and further, it would really be quite a detriment for nosfa. Luckily enough, he will get 1 kill, but it will not matter as it's instantly stolen away from him with Dramis with a response.
He hasn't got control at all. He's got 17 points of health, and he knows that the spawn from Dramis is likely to be LG's side of the map. It's a difficult move to justify, in my opinion. There's some good shotgun work. Really, really nice. Does find himself to 25. Heavy will be up shortly, but I think he's going to be more of a spectator of that item being taken.
Yeah, that is lucky. He was able to stop himself there from perishing once again. 4 frags behind. Listening out for the audio cues, does spot him, fires off a rail, but it was a little bit shaky. Nowhere near as accurate as we normally come to expect from
good dodge.
nosfa. Dramis toying with him. The movement was on point, but nosfa's rail was more poised.
Really, really good positioning from nosfa. Dodging a lot of those rockets. I think Dramis went in there knowing he has a big stack advantage and that his timing was good, but if you can't land those rockets, then you shouldn't be there. After 1 or 2 misses, get out. You've still got good positioning to escape. Whoa!
Okay.
All right.
That's definitely one way to go about it.
That was so much damage then. And he's hit a huge rocket too. His stack's still not that bad. And the rail at the end! He only needed a tickle more LG, but the rail, well, yeah, that'll work too.
Yeah, this is the nosfa we know and love waking up here. Lot more like his previous self, as he's just being able to do damage across the board now. Really getting into the game a whole lot more so than what we had previously seen. Connecting these rail shots as he drops down, pondering if he wants to drop in with the LG, and he will, to tie it up 8-8.
I mean, what a comeback already. We've still got 3 minutes to play. We've somehow got more time for missing out a bit of damage. Still pushing through. Dramis expected him to go through the teleporter. It will be a mutual frag. Still 8 for 8. And Dramis, okay, just a small scratch with the rocket. There will be a push with the lightning gun. Rocket to LG is pretty good actually, but with 11 health to go and still a second until the Mega's up. That fight couldn't have been much closer.
So lucky that he was actually able to stay alive, keep himself in the game like this. He's only got 3 rockets, instead opts to use the tri-bolt. Oh, a bit of attack coming out with it. Dramis trying to go for the chase around, gets himself in the elevated angle, tries to peer down, but he's been knocked off that pedestal fairly quickly, as nosfa will mop him up with a spill trick.
Ooh, he's got to get out of there. Stack is weak. He's got to be wary that the dinosaur's going to push into him soon. I think he's heard that noise up in the top section of the map. And 100-100, he's feeling a little bit better, and in time for the heavy, I think nosfa's made a great play here. Got to watch out for that extra DPS coming out. He's hit a lot of damage, but that damage over time was also going to be fatal, I think, so he just tried to mutual it up.
Dramis lurking around, trying to take it slow now, as there isn't too much time left. If he can afford to burn this clock down, he definitely wants to. 1 frag is all that stands between the both of them right now. He is doing more damage on the opener here. Nice trace. Oh, almost got the shot for the shotgun instead, though. He's the one punished. Up close and personal there. nosfa ties it back up 10-10. Near misses with the rails. Eventually gets a tag off. Trying to predict where he is going to come from. Looks like he might try and go in with a shotty. Oh, no. The globules slowing him down, Zoo.
I like the calculation from nosfa. Worth going in and taking that damage over time. He had a much bigger stack, and even the mid-range super shotgun is pretty devastating. He's got the information he needs. Oh, he misses the rail shot, and this is going to allow Dramis to get himself onto the heavy. nosfa had to either secure that item or do 100 damage, and it's not worked out. He's got no armor. He has the orb. Still stuck left for Dramis, actually.
That was quite lucky. It could have been so much more awkward there. 10-10, 30 seconds. It's coming up to potentially a sudden death on the cards. No one is going to want to make the next mistake. It has to be flawless.
I do feel like there's an advantage for Dramis. I say feel like, now that you've seen him take the heavy, and he's got close to 200 health and armor, it's hard to ignore that. nosfa needs to find a way to get onto a major item, but before he can even really think of that, he's got to do some damage and hope that Dramis makes a positional error that he can take advantage of. This is really, really difficult, and for Dramis, he might just want to... It might almost be worth taking a risk to just run into him, get the rockets out, just do that 200 damage that you need.
Ooh, that was a nice pre-fire, and it's actually worked out quite well for nosfa in the opening chunk of damage. He's still being pushed though, goes back in, it's a full commit. He fancied his chances, but he will not be able to win it. Dramis takes the first map there with an 11-10 scoreline, incredibly close.
Yeah, nosfa did not want to back off. He felt if he went over to rail that Dramis was going to make that move around the other side and still catch an angle on him. He was like, well, if I go in here, then at least I can at best force a more even fight. But he had a disadvantage on the health and armor to begin with. It's like, at that point, what do you risk doing more? Backing off to no items, or hoping that you can somehow get a sort of 20 or 25% chance off to win the fight and win the map?
It was a rough risk. He went for it, didn't really work out the way he was hoping it would. Dramis, though, putting up a really good fight over the course of this opening map, looking incredibly strong. nosfa almost seemed like it wasn't really him until he started to wake up around 4 or 5 minutes into the game. It took him some time to get that fuel back.
Yeah, when he got into it, he was doing amazing damage, and he was making the comebacks so quickly. And we had a bit of back and forth. It did feel like a little bit we were watching Avik and Razy again. But a nice even finish that we see to the map. We will have Blood Covenant afterwards to see what kind of hell will happen there. But okay, this is really good news from Dramis. And I know he was feeling he wanted a different result at Luca. He did still look positive in his attitude and his approach towards his QPL matches.
Dramis, though, he's going to be happy with himself there, getting that opening map. For nosfa, it just depends if he's going to be able to keep himself moving. Obviously saying that he wants to try and really prove a point now going forward. It's a rough way to start the second part of the season, really, with Stage 2 obviously kicking off now. So many points up for grabs with the fact they have been doubled. That if this is one that's going to go the way of Dramis, he could really put himself into a huge position. nosfa, maybe it's already happening again, the ELO health.
Well, we'll see. That excuse can't happen for long. No. There's going to be plenty more games right around the corner for him, and many chances for him to prove himself. And there's many more maps left for him to prove himself in this series, because it's definitely not over. I don't have my notes, but I think it's Nyx versus Doom that we're going to be seeing here on Blood Covenant. Nyx, I think that Nyx is one of the strongest champions on this map right now.
Right.
I think she's got just a brilliant strategy at her disposal, brilliant movement, and all-round slickness. Well, we've got some stats here from the last map. See how the two most powerful weapons from both the players. Damage done. And 27 mega health. That's a lot of mega health. Is that right? I'll gloss over that and look at the evenness of the heavies.
I mean, that is pretty mad. That would be outrageous. But in terms of nosfa, right there, though, in that first map, though, I feel like he still had the crazy level of aggression and was still hitting ridiculous shots. It just seemed like it took too long for it to come out. And at that point, you know, it's an awkward map where if you kind of lose your footing.
I was kind of there just like salivating when we were watching him at the beginning. He's going to do his stuff that he does right at the beginning of a map with Ranger, and it's going to be amazing. And it was just a Dramis show, really.
Yeah, Dramis was just giving it.
Yeah, nosfa was just a bit average. And I feel like that's the kind of ace in the hole that nosfa really has with Ranger. And when I don't see him delivering with that champion, it makes me a little bit anxious in terms of what we could expect from him, but hopefully he can overcome that. There's plenty of points to fight out for, considering we are now in double point territory. Is this something more that he can profit from and work his way up those the world rankings?
Yeah, that is true. We just need to see him hopefully get a return to form going and find himself being able to do some of the crazy things that he normally does. Because in this 1-to-1 head-to-head before, I feel like I normally would have favoured nosfa. Dramis off the back of that, though, he's looking very strong. Like, he was hitting ridiculous shots.
Yeah.
It seems like the momentum he built up over the end of stage 1, that's still there. He still looks comfortable, which is quite scary, really, if Dramis has really sort of gone through this whole transition.
Yeah, and for Dramis, it's really it's all about the discipline, in my opinion. In a way, it's the same thing for nosfa, but what was so good is how aggressive he can be. But for Dramis, sometimes he moves into this aggressive position, which I don't think favors him as much as control. So if he can do that to a T and sort of adopt that CNZ playstyle, I think we can see him actually rack up even more wins. But we're in the game here, Jackie. We've got ourselves 2 players, we've got ourselves 2 champions in a map. And we are watching Dramis right now on Doom.
Here we go. Map 2. Dramis, he took the first map. He did look damn strong for a good majority of it. He won it out in sudden death. Let's see where it's going to go from here. nosfa on the Nyx, Dramis on the Doom. Is there going to be any shenanigans coming through right now as he starts to glide around, taking a couple of love taps towards the rear, wants to initiate. The Ghost Walk is already in play, and the Mega Control will be stolen.
He's keeping a close eye on where nosfa can be. Has to watch out on the teleporter exit. I like the spam. nosfa does fight through a decent chunk of it, but heavy armor is going to be at Dramis' disposal. And he'll walk away with still stack intact. And nosfa with no ability, no armor. It's still a dream.
Warning rockets going across. The rail starts to come out, hoping to get a tag off. nosfa, for the second time, going to try and go for the pop and run away. Does actually get round the corner. Barely, but will get away.
And no real challenge on this occasion. Dramis kind of gives them up relatively easily. So I wonder what his plan is afterwards, if he's trying to find damage on a rotation of some sort. There's still a bit of time until Mega Health. This could be difficult for him to hold on to. Even if he picks up the item, he's probably going to take tons of damage. nosfa cleans up there. And you see what happens when you don't turn up to one rotation of items and you let your opponent take it for free. You don't do damage. The trouble that you are in is Dramis is picked off again off the spawn. This is far more what nosfa needed, but yeah, Dramis just getting in the way a little bit over at the Mega Health has set up this series of plays.
Ooh. Struck down on the cross. nosfa looking to try and find these frags as he's going in for the little taps out with the rail. 4 rockets left, 51 HP. Tucks in for the meantime to at least just try and hold back. Get some distance from Dramis so he doesn't know where he is. Wow, a very close near miss there.
And now Dramis has got all the control. Problem is that Nyx has got the Ghost Walk. If you can land a good defensive rocket or rail, there's... Oh, okay, the rocket was 22. Does need a bit more. nosfa can already play a slightly defensive game, as Dramis is just going to have to pick up a great read on where he's likely to be.
The purring of the railgun as he's revving himself, trying to get ready to really start swinging here. Drops down, has to go into the blood pool temporarily to get some health back. Begins to expand out from there, gets some armor. It's a slower game here from nosfa. He does have the 2 frag lead though, so he's able to essentially just roam and keep his distance from Dramis.
He needs to keep an eye on the item timings. It's going to help him a lot more to know, okay, at what position or what part of the map is Dramis likely to come from to put pressure on me. And he's still advancing forward. There's a good rail shot. He's slightly vulnerable himself. That 25 health bubble makes it less so. On the vertical rail on the drop down. See how that Ghost Walk has totally messed with Dramis' mind. He had good timing on the heavy, so know where he could pin a further advantage from. I don't think Dramis expected him to be aggressive with the Ghost Walk. He's put himself in a position that was, you know, even more out there than before.
nosfa really just playing the safe game. Kept his distance, hasn't overly committed to anything that he hasn't really felt like he will win. But but now they have to try and duke it out once again. Both of them connecting their shots. Dramis tremendously low, hoping to get the flick up, although nosfa with the death from above drops down. All rail all the time there, Zoo.
And right off the spawn, there's one. Little fakey. Oh, he spots him. Dramis can try and get out, and he just makes it. Nice little control as well. You can use the wall jump, basically right after you use the bounce pad, and kind of toggle between whether you're looking at the upper corridor or lower corridor a lot more easily than with many other champions.
Five-minute warning.
Spam across. Fair bit of damage done here onto nosfa. It isn't really going to impact him too much whatsoever. He had the mega health, he has the confidence to go back in for a fight as well. So easy with the transition there. The LG to sap Dramis, and then the rail to blow him to bits.
Steady on with these combos. He's hitting very hard. Now he's just getting himself more rail ammunition. As they can still deny that weapon from Dramis. Oh, brilliant. Zoom out with the machine gun. Rocket to go. And Dramis cannot catch a break at the moment. When he's getting work done, he's just got to redo it all over again. We have a heavy up in a couple of seconds. And Dramis is not getting involved with that. Oh, he is. He's pushing down from below and doesn't take any extra damage. Very, very sudden from him. But that could be the kind of move that gets him back in the game. He just needs to hit something to go with it. But has he got the weapons to work on that?
Both of them nearly crossing the beams here, trying to go for the punch as he pushes in. Baits out nosfa, so he has to try and run away, but he still catches him. The super shotgun will end nosfa, and eventually Dramis has got himself a frag.
Oh, nosfa trying to do the same back to him. Who can hit the better shot? Oh, there's reload central here. And it was with the starting shotgun too. Slightly narrower bullet spread. That works out for nosfa. 7-1.
Time running out here at this point. Not really left in a great scenario for him to try and mount a comeback, although he is dealing damage to nosfa. He's stopping him being able to do too many shenanigans. Oh. nosfa has a good angle. Just get a bit of a spam across and tag up the opposition.
Yeah, smart work from nosfa here. No commitments needed. His stack's really not bad. Buy some time. Dramis might want to just hang around the Mega. Can't tell. He has actually moved over, but nosfa's not committing to anything till he has those sound cues himself. It's like, well, what do you know? I've got a major item to work with too. And now, with the Ghost Walk, I can plus back yet again. Very, very sneaky from nosfa. But honestly, playing it down to a T, when you buy yourself this situation, you should be doing this. This is how you keep those wins. Don't put yourself out there. Don't try to extend the lead unless that opportunity presents itself openly, and that it's a 95 to 100% chance certainty.
nosfa, 53 HP, backs off. Playing it very safe, just trying to waste time. If he sits in the corner, won't have the audio cues, goes for the port at the right timing. Dramis, so close to death. It's a bit of a stalemate. No one fully commits to the fight. Instead, nosfa repositions to grab the armor. He's now got the heavy in his back pocket. And he starts roaming around. Takes a single bullet to the back there.
And Dramis is trying to open things up with good rails. Now going in for the punches, but he is shotgunned down. And no chances really to close up that frag difference. Rail in the hands of nosfa. And there's the Ghost Walk, and there's now, well, guess where I am. And another rail shot, again slowing the game down for Dramis. And just escape, escape, escape. Oh, I've got an LG as well, you're weak. And the shotgun yet again, some very, very smart usage of the weapon we're seeing. Actually from both players, but nosfa I think has been getting quite a lot from it.
Not much time here at all. There really isn't much that Dramis can do, so nosfa just adding a final kill to his tally to round things up to a nice big 10, as he should be walking away as the winner here for this map, splitting the series one apiece and leaving up to our third map as a decider for who will get the majority of points from the series.
We're just going to drop down on him anyway. He's going to make it 11-1, even looking for off the spawn regardless. Okay, Jackie, we have a tiebreaker, an actual tiebreaker scenario.
I know. For once tonight, it's not just another 3-0. This is actually a closer affair where it has gone 1-1
And now
apiece.
you can say that everyone's getting points.
Everyone is getting points.
Yeah. And now who's going to be getting more points? Who is going to be getting more points from you?
I don't know. Dramis looked really good on map 1. It seemed like he was on form. Everything was working. nosfa did have his moments of his usual character. Coming into map 2, though, it was much more of the nosfa show. You could see he was playing smart, but still playing with pizzazz when he needed to.
He definitely gets on with Blood Covenant too. I think we see some of his best performances on here. I wonder if he can extend that a little further. I think that his control was excellent. I think Dramis was maybe slightly wish-washy with the control and possibly was neglecting items when he possibly should have been going to attack and be more proactive in hurting nosfa, and then sometimes the complete opposite. So we will definitely have to see, but this is certainly the kind of victory that is going to get the blood pumping for nosfa.
Yeah, he should be way more fired up now, especially going into the third map. At this point, you still have the chance to win the series, so he's not going to want to slow down. It's a great way to reinvigorate himself, I reckon.
This is so many shotgun plays that we've been getting. I think he just got tired of it here, and there we go.
It feels like the super shotgun's been getting much more love recently.
It has been. There was we got some items as well. 1600 damage of the rail to 1000. You know, this is a big rail map. Nyx does so well with the rail here. Definitely an important feature of nosfa's victory. Sorry, you made a point, and I took it upon myself. And then stats, and I like stats.
That's fine, mate. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Right, so we've got Ruins now.
Yes.
I actually don't remember the champions because I'm unprofessional. But who's going to win this? You didn't give me an answer. You didn't give me a straight answer.
Strogan Visor.
Thank you.
Are the champs we have coming out on this one. I don't know. It's hard to call. I feel like at this point, though, nosfa's probably going to hedge the bet slightly more. I reckon it's probably a higher chance that he will come in swinging off the back of this. Map 1, he's probably a little bit annoyed, you know. He was playing well, he just took too long to really come into the server and actually start dealing damage. Map 2 looked much more like he normally does, very controlling, very passive, but also, you know, strong, big when he needed to be. Map 3, I reckon he's probably going to try and go all out.
I think so. I think he needs to control himself though, because you wouldn't run risks when you kind of get in the run things, and now you're going to say, right, I'm going to go super aggressive. I'm going to sort of steamroll into the lead. That's when you make those hiccups that can allow your opponent to pick up on your eagerness, essentially. Right. And if Dramis can pick up on that and punish a little bit, then that's going to be incredibly good for him. But I would like to see a slightly slower start off the beginning from both players. I would like the foundations to be about control before just pressing into your opponent. But, you know, things can happen quite early on with Ruins. If both people want to challenge the lightning gun straight away, that's usually when you can have sparks flying. But I would expect there to be a bit of respect. They know what they're both capable of. We'll see where it'll go.
Well, here we are. We're going to delve back into it. The third and final map between these two. As we'll see how this one is going to go. Dramis and nosfa. Let's see who is going to be bringing the ruckus.
My question for Dramis is go for heavy straight away. You might want to return back over to the lightning gun to stop nosfa from being able to get that cleanly. He does actually hit a few bolts there from the Pika. Now wants to defend the lightning gun, but it doesn't work. They actually did want to challenge on LG early. I think that Dramis did the right thing, but he had, in terms of trying to defend it, but he had a difficult position to work from. Oh my god, that movement He somehow gets himself onto the T. Dramis was left on about 3 points of health, manages to get out of there, gets himself a mega health. nosfa looking a little sweeter with his heavy, however. Oh god.
Raining death from above right now in a very awkward fight. Eventually lands a direct hit and will blow Dramis away. That was clean.
Very, very clean. Piercing sight helping a decent amount there. Oh my god, that rail somehow connects and he finds the rocket right at the end. Small chance that nosfa can take 2 major items. What was he going to do now? He's got himself the mega health. Where does he want to go with it? He can't drop anymore because he's just seen that there's the lightning gun from Dramis. So respect will be provided. Uh-oh. Wait, it did land, I think. I think he did to get the 75 from it.
It's already been a good start for nosfa. The 3-0 in the space of a minute is a pretty big scoreline to have already built up. How much can he maintain this, though? Is he going to be able to get a frag for every single visor use?
Yeah, it has to back away as quickly as possible during the rail reload. He even gets himself on time for the heavy. He's still going to push out. He knows he's got a big advantage. Does he know where he's gone, though? Sees him. Now he's got to back away. Good pressure, however. He had to keep that up. If he could have landed a rail shot, it would have been glorious. Oh, I'm not sure about the weapon switch that he had at the end. Going in with rockets first, or lightning gun may have been a bit more fruitful for him. Dramis, however, on the board has a chance to really challenge and see if he can equalize on this scoreline as soon as possible.
2 frags difference. Close but no cigar, firing out of the rail, but the rockets in close combat as they will transfer damage between them both. Dramis gets the kill though, takes down nosfa there, and now things are actually getting very competitive. He's almost tied up that scoreline already.
Brilliant.
Does get another rocket off. Looks for the murder hole to try and do some damage here. He's still landing these shots. nosfa's struggling.
Dramis hitting some very, very good rockets, and his control now on the map is splendid. He's going to give himself ample time to get over to the mega health too. This is the age of Dramis right now. How much can he capitalize from this? He has the mega health. You got about 10 seconds now where you can be aggressive. He's going to find him. nosfa's going to help him be aggressive, and that will allow him to go 3 for 3. Quick jump over to the light armor. If he can get to heavy first or push nosfa away from it, he is going to be laughing. That's a good chunk of damage. I think he hit something like 60 or 75 in total. nosfa is in massive trouble. No piercing sight for a couple of seconds. And you can see this speed that Dramis is wielding around the map.
Bit of a dink coming across. LG is going to come out to play, and he'll finish him off fairly easily there as he zaps his way straight through him. 4 to 3 now. Dramis, he's woken up. He's heard all the things we've been saying about nosfa, and he wants a piece of the pie. The downwards rockets coming across, gets up close and personal with a point blank to actually annihilate him there as he rips his insides out.
This can be pretty devastating for nosfa at the moment. There's a chance for Dramis to extend a big lead, in my opinion. We're going to find him. Lightning gun, chase him to the top. Might as well go, go, go. Oh, tries to close it out with a very tricky shot. That's perfect. He needed that defense going. Gets rid of the Pika. nosfa's going to get a moment to breathe. But Dramis' control is still insane. And I think he's moments away from going back on another run, forcing nosfa to again accomplish these masterful feats of defense. And it's going to run into him in the end. That is going to be 6 to 3. Dramis wants to get around over to the mega as soon as he can.
Dramis starting to skedaddle his way around as he looks to try and find nosfa here. Has a sneaking suspicion as you'll hear him cross. Railgun out. Lovely opening tag. Biding his time to line up the second there. Didn't want to really be too risky and just fire off the shot without calculating it, but it doesn't work out well for him. Narrowly dodges that rail as well. Loses out on the Pika and starts firing off some rockets.
This is really immaculate control from Dramis. I think nosfa's in a difficult position here. He managed to get off the pad, get over to shotgun. If he can hit another rail shot, he's not looking horrendous, but he gets stuck a little bit and can't drop down immediately. 7-3. nosfa's got to get himself on weapons as soon as possible, and he's got to be as attentive as he can to the items to do damage. Maybe peek down from the lightning gun or the rail spawn down on heavy. Maybe pick a creative angle to see where Dramis is on the exit of Mega Health. He's got to be as attentive as possible. He can't run away from it anymore. The only way to get back into the lead is to somehow force a mistake out from Dramis.
Dramis. Oh, drops down. Very smooth moves.
Wow.
Gets him in the air and then slams him back down to earth.
Yeah, that was pretty damn clean. Major items right after. It's going to spot him again. There's an opening rail. Oh, he has been knocked off for a second. nosfa's actually got a chance. Oh, the Pika puts him down to absolutely no HP. Mega Health will change that for a second, but it's a shame to pick up a major item and you're still out of control. Wow, Dramis wants this, man. He really wants this.
Yeah, he is hungering for it right now. Dramis, another kill achieved nearly as he is punishing nosfa at every opportunity. This should be another one. Netted in the bag. 10 frags now. He is coming for the 2-1 scoreline. There is nothing that can be done to slow him down at this point, and he's starting to get speedy in the server as well.
He needs to settle down a little bit. He needs to think about how he's going to run a defensive game. nosfa, if he lands a rail, he can get himself the kill, but there's just not enough time. He's missing the shots. The reload costs him so much damage. There's a drop. Heavy won't be acquired by nosfa, and this is a devastating blow for the Brazilian. He might have got himself an 11-1 scoreline over on Blood Covenant. But here on map 3, Dramis does not look too far away from victory.
No, Dramis seems like he is very much in the driving seat here. nosfa, there's just nothing that could be done as well. Every time he goes back into fight again, he is going down. Will fall once more. 2 minutes remain. He would need 10 frags to, at this point, even equalize the scoreline. It just doesn't look doable.
Indeed, control from Dramis for the last 5 minutes, basically, has looked borderline perfect. There's been maybe one instance where nosfa's really applied a lot of pressure and made control a little bit more awkward, but here, Dramis' timing, he saw himself low, he knows exactly when the Mega's coming up, so he's not even anxious at all. Despite going down to 5 HP, he can take that damage. It's the Dramis show. Looking for a 2-1.
Skates into action, gets him low once more, goes for the pre-fire on the rockets, hoping that the drop down will come in. He will find another frag, and that's 16-3 Dramis. This is just him overthrowing and overpowering nosfa now.
His Strog is actually looking excellent. He does love these kind of champions. His slash is something really to behold. But we're seeing that at the moment from Strog and Pika. I think his movement has actually been fantastic. He's been getting his rotations around the map, cutting off nosfa with ease. Oh, the little flick. There's the kind of showboating we need to see from an 18-3 scoreline. And there's going to be Mega up shortly too. A second till it's up. He wants more. He's not done yet. That might be 20 seconds left, but he wants to make it a damn good 20 seconds.
Oh yeah, he's still going to just have as much fun as he can with this whilst he's got the time. He knows he's won it. He's going to carry on to really make this an even bigger impact. 10 seconds left on the clock, hoping to at least get 19 frags on the way out. There it is, as nosfa is gone.
GG, man. 19-3. I don't think I was expecting that. I don't think I was expecting that at all. We were expecting a tiebreaker, but that's not the way that we would have seen that being concluded. As you can see, was that like 14? The amount of control in the end that we had from Dramis, just, yeah. That was so difficult for nosfa to deal with. He had to find a way to be a bit more defensive, but then when it was getting late, it's like, well, now you've got to no longer be defensive, but take the risks on the items, but somehow do that versus someone who might as well be 200-200.
Yeah, no, like, thing is, obviously, just looking at it on paper as well, Dramis has definitely been looking better, but even then, I didn't expect it to go that one-sided in the final map. Not even if nosfa would have continued on and did what he did previously. Like, it felt like it just should have been much closer together. But 2 dominating games from both of the players, one after the other. A bit of a wacky one, but in the end, Dramis coming out on top tonight.
Yeah, the weird thing is that I was waiting for the point where this is where Dramis goes out of control and nosfa will get a chance to do it. Because, I don't want to discredit him too much, but there's often those times where Dramis will just overegg something a little bit, lose that control, and then it'll be kind of his opponent's time. Whether he gets back in control or not is a different question, but it normally ends after sort of 3 to 4 minutes of play, especially when he's going up against the likes of like a Dahang, for instance. But it was just flawless performance on Ruins. His Strog looked, veteran levels. I want more Dramis.
I think we're definitely going to get some more over the course of the season. If he can carry on playing like that, it should definitely be a good affair for him. Stage 2 already looking like he's coming in strong. Our first 2-1 split of the night as well. Every other game has been a 3-0, but here is the stats.
Juicy stats, and you can see control split on the major items quite a lot, but I mean, it was the sort of back end that really Dramis had as much as he could possibly get. 2,000 lightning gun damage too, equal to the rail accuracy that nosfa had. Dramis was a hard hitter just then.
He was popping off in a lot of those fights. Very good initiation. Just able to strip so much health from nosfa before he could actually respond and start fighting back, which...
Well, that was it, because nosfa's like, well, I need to do some entry damage before I can go into anything, but the entry damage is always on the other side. Yeah. Or it was shared somehow, and when you're the one out of control, that's not helping your cause whatsoever. It's got to be, you getting those favorable engagements. But it happens sometimes, and it allows us to see the magic like that from Dramis, who, again, I'm loving that we're seeing him going from strength to strength, and I want to see if he can kind of like PB himself in terms of his placement. See, can he crack possibly like a top 4 in his region in the world rankings? I think that would be an excellent achievement from him.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole lot to prove, I think, from both of these players. Definitely well-driven and wanting to try and show the level of lethality that they can bring to the table. So, unfortunate stuff for nosfa there. Obviously, not really the result he would have wanted going into it. But for Dramis, that's big. He's gonna be happy with that one.
Definitely. And you know what? It means that we can start turning a page into some more games in the evening as we kind of go back into the European end of things. Just, I say, for a game, basically, we've got Hron Wenger. That is going to be coming up next. I'm really, really excited about that. I think we've got some world rankings too that we can take a look at.
Yeah, this is how things are starting to shape up.
So you see Dramis getting himself a few points on there. We do have nosfa, who's still in 8th, so he's been getting a healthy amount. Razy up at the top. Of course, he got himself 16, if my math's right. So he'll be up there. Dahang's already played. He managed to get himself a whole bunch. Cooler's not playing today, nor is Tox, I think. But Rafa is going to be up at the end of the evening. And of course, I think one of the highlight games I'm looking forward to is Cypher versus Kilson that will take place before the Rafa match.
Yeah, that should actually be very, very cool. Obviously, seeing Cypher now in the QPL stage, see what he's up to, see how well he's performing, and Kilson, what's the storyline with him? How is the man, the myth, the legend looking?
Where's he standing? What's shape looking like for this lad? He's been just a gargantuan player in the scene this year. I think people are expecting more elite performances from this guy. Who knows what we're going to get?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and find out. See if he is able to come in strong. But let's have a look at the next match that is coming up. Hron versus Wenger. There they are. The two boys that will be looking to duke it out on Blood Covenant, Awoken and Molten Falls. That will be our next game, Zoo.
Yeah, absolutely. Wenger just coming from his home home country LAN, playing in Lucca, Italy. The Italian did fantastically. He went down 2-3 to Kilson, but he already had to play his way through CNZ, then through base. And I know that he enjoyed a lot having that home crowd cheering for him, who were very, very noisy. And he's been on an upwards trend, but I know he wants so much more than what he's been getting so far.
Wow. Well, we'll have to see if he can start to prove that in the server once we return from the break. We're back in. It should be a banger. You will not want to miss it. We'll see you then.